wouldn't be surprised if my guys kind of changed their strategy as we head into picks and bans for game number 2, of changing their idea and mindset of taking gods away from Shalibur to taking the Susanoo away from Kaeydan.
Could be SoaR's first pick once more, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. An early Susanoo ban there from my guys, doing exactly what you recommended, Toli. Zeus going to be the ban this time for SoaR.
Not a bad idea for SoaR to take away those 2 combinations. We saw just how powerful Return was able to work with that Odin pick for the young homie, but instead of going for the Susanoo, which is also very aggressive early on at level 1, it's going to be the Awilix instead.
Again, it's just, if you pick or ban Susanoo, we'll take away the Awilix. KhaoticPurpose has that early pressure god pool, is what he's all about, so they're going to take it away from him once more, is SoaR Gaming. My guys sticking with the Brochacho Ymir here, though that could go to Wolves in that solo lane. He's very comfortable on that Guardian. And Medusa this time, taken away from Zachsy, most likely handed over to Transonics.
A lot of flexibility for my guys with that Ymir pick. Do you reckon that we'll see KhaoticPurpose ever play a Guardian in that jungle role?
It doesn't seem to fit for me. He likes to make the big flashy plays. He likes to come dunking down with Thor. He likes to pull you in and move you around with Susanoo. Could see it, but it would be a little bit of a surprise to me. No surprise to see the Ares selection there for Brochacho. Every game, no matter the situation. Okay, I'm kind of trolling, but he loves to play Ares, and he always wants to.
I mean, you have an aggressive Hunter, Transonics, you have an aggressive Guardian.
True.
Give them aggressive gods. And let them run wild with it.
There's nothing more aggressive than the Ares, so I've got no problem with that. A couple Hunter bans onto the god pool of Zachsy, and then SoaR hitting both the mid lane and the jungle. Poseidon going to be the selection here for my guys, just trying to pull everyone into that Kraken, the easy combo potential there from their composition so far.
The cripple is going to be very important for my guys. It's going to stop Awilix from disengaging as well as engaging with that feather step.
Surprised to see the Vamana and the Ram picked up here a little bit, Toli, just because both these characters are shut down pretty easily by Ares and that cripple, though both do have the CC immune ultimates, where you have to check 2 boxes up against Ares. Does this cripple hurt me? No? Cool. Do I have a CC immune ult so that I don't have to use purification beads every time on the ults? Cool. Can check both those second boxes, but not the first for Vamana and Ram. Ratatoskr will be the final selection for KhaoticPurpose. Certainly fits that early aggression sort of style he likes.
Still going for a global presence despite not being the Thor. He's going to have the Ratatoskr, and the difference here is now he's going to be able to commit onto the backline, trying to set up for that Whirlpool Kraken combination, which is a little bit easier, or at least a little quicker to connect than the last game when Coviiii was playing the Toth. That final judgment does take a little bit of time to charge up to its maximum potential for damage.
And Thoth as a character takes a little bit of time to charge up for his maximum potential. Poseidon definitely comes ready to go a little bit earlier on in the game this time around. So my guys, it's so interesting to me because Season 4 offers so many different starting positions and where you want to put your jungler, or in this case, your hunter.
Transonics is ganking the mid lane here?
That's what it looks like.
That's aggressive.
And he goes for the Viper shot right away, too. Tran's going to eat more damage than he gave for sure, and that's going to hurt his wave clear totally.
Absolutely. Already hugging the tower line is Zachsy, recognizing that the rotation is going to be a little bit delayed for the Hunter out of my guy. StormyRays, though, he gets taken a lot of damage, forced into early meditation. The spin to win is good for KhaoticPurpose, and already a lot of momentum for him, similar to game number 1.
What I was about to say before Transonics shows his face in that middle lane is that it's so interesting because Season 4 is all about where you want to start, and my guys always seem to want to put KhaoticPurpose and Wolves together on that right-hand side. And when they're continually making plays like that, you can understand why. An easy first blood goes the way of my guys, not only getting the teleport out from StormyRays, but the meditation from Medieval as well.
Ymir and Ratatoskr are 2 of the strongest gods that you can put side by side at level 1, and no advantage for StormyRays as he kind of got blindsided. These, like you mentioned before, these starts and strategies by teams have just been developing so well, and already level 3 is Zachsy, whereas Transonics is about to hit level 2.
Yeah, he needs that level 2 Transonics because he needs to get that acid spray so we can actually clear the wave in this scenario.
Even if he does get that, but now he's not going to have the escape necessarily because Zachsy's going to hit level 4 first before Transonics hits level 3, and this is the point where Zachsy can look to play a little bit aggressive here, especially if MedievalDoc starts to look for some of these early rotations just for the dash taunt, but now hitting level 3, Transonics will have that escape available to him.
Brochacho also level 3, as is Coviiii. Basically everyone level 3, except for Shalibur. He's now level 4. in this mid lane. Again, and like you mentioned, it's such a momentum-based player, really loves to get on a roll, and usually with these momentum-based players, when they have a good game on a character, they want to stick with it in the next game.
That's not a bad idea here, as they won their first game against a lossless team on the side of My Guys, having so much momentum into the game, but now their perfect season's over. It doesn't really matter. If they were kind of worried about that perfect season, that has left their mind completely in the second game. They can kind of start fresh now and kind of take revenge against SoaR.
And now it's time for revenge. Exactly. These guys are very competitive on the side of My Guys.
But are they competitive online?
No, that's only Wolfie 2032. Who you're going to see this week in Spring Split, or Spring Fling rather. Coviii's going to have to eat that Spirit Ball there from Shalibur. Purification Beads are used, but I think he was out of danger there. Just a little bit of a panic sort of situation when you're getting that low. You don't want to stand still for too long.
I think he was afraid of the rotation earlier on, but instead, rather play it safe than sorry. Is the mid laner out of My Guys going to walk away into safety, almost hitting level 5 now, and that could be a good opportunity for him to look for some combinations with KhaoticPurpose as that global ultimate comes online.
Well, Brochacho's isolated in this mid lane. Circle of Protection used pretty early there, and Shalibur is not going to be able to pick up that kill onto Brochacho, who walks away with a smile on his face. He just got out that very, very important Isis ultimate just by walking up to him.
Without that cooldown now, that's about a 75-second window for My Guys to take advantage with KhaoticPurpose diving the backline with the Whirlpool Kraken. There's not going to be that damage reduction from the Circle of Protection and that big bubble heal.
That's right. Does still have that Purification Beads, though. That's the big thing up against the Ares most of the time because of that no escape. Again, you don't want to have a non-CC immune ultimate. You say the same for both Kaeydan and Shalibur. They're going to be a little bit worried. Shalibur's got to be worried, but a nice meditation come out of Medieval. Saves the life of his mid laner, that extra movement speed, getting Shalibur out of range of that Tidal Surge. Knock up and knocks down the Sentinel of Olympus, comes down and crushes Coviiii. And now all the way from base! Shalibur, get back here, dude! You're not gone yet, but he's going to get turned around on. And Brochacho, despite making the hype play, is the one to fall.
I think Brochacho is now regretting that decision because Wingust was back available.
You can't regret that
decision.
Was
hot, though.
You can't regret that decision. I just pulled a man from base, dude.
That was hot.
But Shalibur is there for enough time to get a tick of heal from the fountain, and that's what allows him to come back and survive that engagement.
Also enough time for his cooldown of the Wingust to reset to be able to turn the tide of that team fight. So SoaR, despite getting first blooded at level 1 to StormyRays, they find 2 kills in that mid lane trying to get back into the game. They're still down a little bit of gold here, but they're not too worried.
Bro, Wolves not too worried about the presence of Kaeydan on this right side either. The tanky Ymir at level 7. Ymir's had a little bit of a struggle today, though, Tolly. I mean, in the first set of North America, Chilvanus goes like 0-8 or 0-9 on it. No troubles here as Wolves picks up the solo kill on the StormyRays. Wolves looking to boost that KDA of Ymir today because Brochacho also had a tough game on it in game 1.
There's not too much mana on Kaeydan. Has to be careful with KhaoticPurpose right around that corner. And with Shoes of the Magi finished onto this Ymir soul laner, that damage, you have to respect it as much as the ultimate of KhaoticPurpose.
Again, the taunt right after KhaoticPurpose lands, peeling away for the mid laner. Medieval looking very, very comfortable in this support role despite just moving there out of the solo lane this week. He's up 2 levels right now on El Brochacho.
Really focusing on Shalibur is El Brochacho, looking to make more and more plays on this Isis in the mid lane. Still 40 seconds remaining on that Purification Bead, so that will see that mid laner going outside of his tower without any sort of vision on the side of the map. Looking at My Guys' wards, they have a Sentry Ward on the bottom right mid Harpy and a regular ward, actually just got countered now by Kaeydan.
Well, either way, SoaR in control right now, at least to some degree. They're down about 500 gold with the rotations coming on this left side. Transonics trying to take the fight, slows both Medieval and Zachsy. Medieval thought about bailing there with the Sentinel of Zeus, but probably should have pulled the trigger. Coviiii able to pick up that kill. Kaeydan and KhaoticPurpose boxing a bit in that mid lane, but both dash away to safety.
I think the mindset for TheMedievalDoc there was trying to use the ultimate to get away, but then he realized if he's going to use it, he's going to be a stationary target for that Whirlpool Kraken. So instead, he baits it out by channeling it, canceling it, trying to move away, hoping that the Kraken was not going to be centered, and then maybe using the ultimate. But unfortunately, not to his success. He's going to find an early death in the game, but it's still looking pretty positive for SoaR despite getting first blooded.
No doubt about that. And either way, when you're Athena and you get killed and you still have that ultimate is not as bad because you can get right back into the fight with that Sentinel of Zeus. It's necessary. Brochacho pulled in by Kaeydan. There's a no escape, but it's never gonna go off. Shaliber combines with his mid laner to knock down Brochacho for the second time this game.
And normally Feather Step is used as a defensive tool as well, just to be able to negate a lot of damage, but respecting the damage between the Isis and the Awilix, Kaeydan uses that Feather Step just to kill El Brochacho before the defenses and the health come online for this Guardian, and they're able to pick off the Ares during the ultimate before the chains happen.
One of the biggest weaknesses of Ares is how vulnerable he is in that no escape animation. Shaliber, despite not having that CC immune ultimate, could really just drop the circle of protection on him and just have SoaR look to blow up the support, especially early on with Brochacho going for these Traveler shoes and the Mark of the Vanguard. Wolves in the front line looking to find the fight. 3-man knock up there from KhaoticPurpose. I lie, he only gets one. Shaliber forced to run away and StormyRays up into that big baby, but it's my guys chasing down the members of SoaR in their jungle.
Spirit Ball not on the mark as it clips inside the wall. The ultimate from Wolves going to connect onto Kaeydan. The Kraken will not, however. 2 ultimates being expended by my guys, but they're comfortable in a positional advantage where they can strip away both the speed and the blue buff, so still getting something.
And they get the purification beads out from both Kaeydan and Shaliber in that engagement, so definitely a win in that sense for my guys, who have taken a little bit of a lead in this game right underneath 1,000 gold, but basically all even. The only real lead, Tolly, is in the solo lane for my guys and in the support role for SoaR.
Which is not too uncommon for Brochacho to be behind experience-wise, especially once he plays as Ares. He usually gets off to a slow start as he sacrifices his life just to find these kills, just like there. Take an aggressive route underneath the mid-harpies, not disadvantage, but the Whirlpool.
3.
Oh, if only the Kraken was up for that.
Seriously, that's the dream scenario, but Kaeydan jumps forward and is now in trouble. Stun, saves his life for a moment, but KhaoticPurpose able to clean up the jungle opposition. Medieval trying to run away, but Transonics and Zachsy have both made the rotation into the middle lane. Transonics uses the beads to get out of the taunt, but it's only Kaeydan who ends up falling.
Good juke also by Transonics. He doesn't like to go into the lane, as the Spirit Ball was definitely going to stun him out on that right side wall. Instead, ducking underneath the safety of that right-hand side, strips away some of the damage potential from Shaliber, still gets into safety. And look at what Wolves is doing. You're recognizing that MedievalDoc is very low. He's also without the meditation. This is another kill opportunity, but took too long, not wanting to miss out any farm, going for the Fire Giant Elementals.
And the wave on that right-hand side that Stormy has just been trying to continue to push under Wolves, but has really been unable to do so. Who took that first blood or assist in that lane early on, really made it happen, finding the solo kill onto the Vamana. 2 out of the 4 deaths for SoaR onto that new solo laner, but really an old solo laner when you think about it. StormyRays, formerly known as Words as Weapons, has been around the Smite scene for a long, long time.
Doing a lot of damage as Wolves onto Kaeydan. A little bit of a damage check and the respect factor. It's like, hey, despite you might having the number advantage, I have the damage numbers. I'm level 12 Ymir with shoes to the Magi, and not only that, having the Witchblade here just to limit some of the healing potential out of StormyRays.
And that of Shaliber as well, with the Circle of Protection, can come into play. Coviiii here in the mid lane looking for Shaliber. Stunned before he can use the Kraken, but it doesn't matter. He finds him anyways without the CC. Coviiii gets his second kill of the game, this time onto Shaliber.
Shaliber not on the better end of it this time around. Game number 2, a little bit more successful in terms of focus out the mid laner now. This is the point in time, the 10-minute mark, where the Isis will do a lot of damage.
But Brochacho is isolated and alone. Easy kill for SoaR. Just taunted and knocked down, but again, StormyRays falls on the right. Wolves is controlling this entire right side for my guys.
Ymir is getting more and more online, hitting level 12. Could opt to back to the base now for that second relic, trying to get more of a power spike play over this Vamana player. And this is not a god that you typically want to be behind, because you definitely need a lot of items to be able to do your damage. Vamana has a lot of scaling potential. Not only that, depending on how you want to build Vamana, you could also be a big force to be reckoned with if you go for that Frostbound Hammer.
That's true. Not all gods are created equal in terms of how they feel when behind and when ahead. Vamana definitely does not feel very good from behind. Zachsy gonna eat that Petrify, which Transonics used to poke out the Hunter and clear the wave simultaneously, giving him some solid pressure on this left, but Medieval is on the way over. Coviiii falling very low and will fall ultimately to the hand of Kaeydan and the Feather Step. The mid laner just isolated in that jungle. Brochacho pulls in Shaliber before the beads go off, but KhaoticPurpose is once more here to clean up Kaeydan. 4 kills right now for KhaoticPurpose.
And during that whole time, Wolves was able to push down the right-hand side while StormyRays was still dead, getting a tier 1 tower. 500 gold for my guys' pocket. Now going for this Portal Demon. The Ymir ultimate is available.
But I don't know if they're going to need it here, totally. Stormy is here. Could try and throw out that Umbrella Rang, and he will do so. Stormy actually picks up the kill on a Brochacho, but the objective still goes the way of my guys. Great wall, well-timed Big Baby. Gets Stormy out of that Kraken and Freeze combination. So my guys get the objective, but they lose their support and the gold Fury, Tully.
Not too big of a deal. The gold differential is still relatively even at 31 for SoaR, about 33 for my guys. So 2,000 gold lead on the side of the Chaos team. Still looking for a lot of plays now. KhaoticPurpose doing a good job using this Ratatoskr ultimate, catching both Shaliber and Kaeydan originally out of position, which all set up that little right versus left battle.
Oh no, Shaliber doesn't even know KhaoticPurpose is right behind him. It's going to be difficult for this Isis to get away.
The
chain over the wall. Brochacho tries to find the second one, and the Flames pick it up before Medieval's there, even with that damage mitigation. Brochacho with the skill shot over the wall. That's some true support mechanics.
Not only does the chains damage you over time, it also slows your movement speed as well as boosting the movement speed out of the area. So only connecting one chain there allowed El Brochacho just to get in position for the last couple remaining ticks of the chains as well. If that kill got under his belt or left his side rather, he would still have the Flames to dive that tier 2 tower if he wanted to.
Transonics and Brochacho are proxy farming this wave on the left. The rotation's coming in from Kaeydan, but he's going to have to force to be jumped away even though the chain misses. KhaoticPurpose finds the dunk down and the purification beads, but Kaeydan is in trouble. Feather Step a little bit too early to get out of that Kraken. Brochacho notches number 2. Look at where Wolves is between the tower and the Phoenix. Shaliber is going to fall here to the damage from Brochacho around the backside. Medieval and Zachsy try to turn it around, but a Petrify and a beautiful wall out of Wolves knocks down Zachsy, at least from rolling away. Coviiii able to juke out number 3. Zachsy can ultimately fall here to Transonics. Wolves and the rest of my guys are so deep into SoaR's jungle, but SoaR can't make him pay.
The aggression from my guys, this game pays off for them. 3 for nothing, able to really take advantage of Shaliber with the walls, with the chains as well from El Brochacho. This is the kind of double Guardian composition that my guys has really used to great effect once they start grouping up in these team fights, having more control and more damage at the mid game.
And Wolves just throwing that weight around once more in the solo lane. This lead definitely brought to you out of the right side of my guys. KhaoticPurpose and Wolves are combined 5-0-8. They've definitely had their hand in quite a bit of what my guys have been able to do so far in this one, up 11-6 right before the 15-minute mark.
Surprisingly enough, my guys able to really bounce back with a furious vengeance, I would say, compared to the first game, and I like the style. Wolves going to get pulled in by Kaeydan. StormyRays clearing the path to get in position to follow up here, but a nice little wall is going to prevent it. Wolves trying to freeze out. Athena's here after the Defender of Olympus. We see Ratatoskr trying to hold off, but it's not in time.
And now KhaoticPurpose is going to fall 2-for-0 in favor of SoaR. Wolves just stayed a little bit too long there. Tully was still sticking around after that engagement on the left side back Harpies.
Just too aggressive. This is the power play that wasn't necessary. There's no objectives to be taken with the exception of the Fire Giant, and that's not something you want to lose as your soul laner. Level 15 Ymir, that takes quite a long time to respawn. You're losing a lot of control in the jungle now between the freeze and the wall, so SoaR could look to start grouping up.
And that's a lot of gold that was just earned by SoaR between those 2 kills. Pretty high bounties on both the Wolves and KhaoticPurpose. KhaoticPurpose is 4-0-4 before that little engagement. That's a lot of gold.
That's a lot of opportunity to also catch up in experience. Kaeydan was also behind a little bit of experience. StormyRays has been struggling this whole game, just now finishing off his Frostbound Hammer, so he can look to dive the back line onto Coviiii, maybe forcing out that Kraken defensively.
Wow, that's a pretty aggressive build for a solo laner that's been behind most of this game, Tully. If I'm KhaoticPurpose, I'm I'm kind of licking my lips saying he's got no physical protection right now.
Absolutely. You know, Genji's guard providing him a lot of magical defense, but Frostbound Hammer gives a lot of health, and that's going to be interesting to see if that's going to be enough to defend against KhaoticPurpose. Don't forget also, with all the health, the passive of the Frostbound Hammer also reduces your attack speed. So KhaoticPurpose is not going to be able to just sit there and look for a fully maximized DPS.
That's true, and KhaoticPurpose doesn't have any true penetration ready to go quite yet, so a little bit ready to go, but not certainly the heavy mace tree. No Brawler's Beat Stick, which would really pay off up against that healing from Vamana. Ward coverage goes the way of my guys around this Gold Fury, and this Gold Fury that's about to respawn in about 20 seconds, this could really spell the tale of the rest of this game and the rest of this set here.
Wolves see StormyRays, a little bit of a boxing encounter between both of them. StormyRays, though, on the worse end of it. Transonics, though, barely able to escape that knockup, but not able to escape a SoaR.
Kaeydan so low, jumps away, not falling to that Petrify. Medieval slowed down, and Kraken, well-timed Sentinel of Zeus, gives him the CC immunity, but it's not enough to get out of danger. KhaoticPurpose picks up another kill. Brochacho flanking around the backside. Ultimate onto Zachsy, who's going to respond by going up into the sky of his own. Nice shots there onto Transonics, but not enough to make him fall. StormyRays in between 5. Again, just not very tanky for the soul laner, and KhaoticPurpose and squad make quick work of the baby.
Unfortunately for StormyRays, his 2 hyper carries were not in position to follow up, and that was a 4-on-1 in the big baby. Despite having all that health regen, it just wasn't enough.
The bait is beautiful from Transonics. Chalibur takes it and tries to go for the kill. Kaeydan might clean up Transonics here. He will do so. KhaoticPurpose forced to try and run away, but Wolves is teleporting in. Wall, freeze right onto Kaeydan. Forced to use a purification. KhaoticPurpose is pretty low, but he's going to be able to dash out, and Kaeydan knocked down by the flames of Brochacho. 15 kills right now for my guys, looking to grab revenge up against SoaR.
Only losing 1 member that whole time. They picked up 4 as Medieval has respawned. So has StormyRays. The Gold Fury is still available, and with Kaeydan not up for another 22 seconds, this is probably going to spell a window opportunity for my guys.
But Transonics is down for a dozen seconds of his own, so it will be difficult for my guys to potentially pull that Gold Fury. But with how tanky Wolves is now, with that Shoguns and the just raw HP from the Wingblade. Oh yeah, he's also level 17. Zachsy gets a little bit lucky there that KhaoticPurpose doesn't hit the Acorn Blast. But as any pro player will tell you, that wasn't luck.
Zoning.
I juked that ability.
He zoned him, basically. It was zoning Acorns to make sure that he wouldn't go up a little bit further. Wanted to get the side shots instead.
I was saying, Zachsy's saying I juked it. KhaoticPurpose is saying I zoned him.
Absolutely.
And they both will never admit that KhaoticPurpose just missed the ability.
Pretty much.
Either way, my guy's up 6 kills right now. KhaoticPurpose wants to extend that lead a little bit more up through the Cosmos, looking to chase down the opposition. Knock up directly onto Kaeydan, and no help needed. KhaoticPurpose solos the oppositional jungler. Zachsy comes right down, and a whirlpool is waiting for him. No escape for the Hunter. Rocked right back in. Double kill for KhaoticPurpose on the Ratatoskr. 17 now on the board for my guys. They're looking to up that gold lead. They're up about 5,000 gold right now. This Gold Fury could tip it over the edge.
Zachsy thought that the ultimate from KhaoticPurpose was actually going to go onto him instead, but it was all Kaeydan's focus on the side of my guys because the purification beads not being available. That was an easy pickings for this Ratatoskr jungler, and with 2 easy picks just like that, Gold Fury as well for my guys. 7,000 gold in the lead, and with this kind of respawn timers, this is getting a little bit scary as the Portal Demon has respawned. Not to mention, the damage is available for my guys to potentially burst down the Fire Giant if they're grouped up.
Left side tower might just fall here. Chalibur is more worried about his mid lane tier 1 than his dual lane tier 2. As a mid laner, I don't really blame him. Losing your tier 1 is really annoying, especially when you're playing like Isis and you don't have a whole lot of escapes, but might be in trouble here. Petrify comes through, stuns out the mid laner. Not enough damage to finish him off for the moment, but around the back comes KhaoticPurpose. Brochacho ends up getting that last hit, and my guys just continuing to take it to SoaR. Sentinel of Zeus on top of the rampaging child of StormyRays, but Wolves is here. Meditation comes out, shards of ice enough to create a zone and isolate MedievalDoc, allowing KhaoticPurpose to pick that one up.
Kraken hitting 2 members. Zachsy barely able to get away, but it's 3 members dead from from SoaR. Wolves with the wall. Zachsy nowhere to go, jumping away into safety. Kaeydan has to just watch from a distance as his tier 1 tower is going to fall.
I don't think that's the only thing that's going down here, Toli. Tier 1 tower, tier 2 tower could be the call, but it looks like the Fire Giant is a little bit more prized by my guys. Speed buff stripped away, and they're not even worried about the Portal Demon itself. Just going for the Fire Giant all alone. 5 members here, probably going to walk away with this buff.
My guys looking so good here in game number 2. Looking to try to get at least one additional point here, as they're going to be able to secure themselves this first seed out of the SCL in North America.
So for me, it's just all about the different jungle pick for KhaoticPurpose. In game 1, he never really gets a roll on that Thor, was a little off the mark with most of his ultimates. This time around on the Ratatoskr, he gets that early pressure, gets Coviiii a little bit ahead. Brochacho does a great job of baiting himself throughout the majority of this game, and my guys are able to turn it around. Is that the way you see it here, that just the jungle pick is enough to turn it around for my guys?
It's a combination of what you just mentioned and also the less than adequate peels and protections from SoaR. I'm looking at MedievalDoc. It doesn't have the wisps compared to the last game playing the Sylvanas, so all the burst, all the poke damage that they did was just non-existent.
2-man knockup, KhaoticPurpose taking it to 2 members all by himself. Zachsy gets crushed by that Hydra's Lament auto out of KhaoticPurpose. 300 plus on that one, no chance for the Hunter. Oh, by the way, Wolves is just 3v1ing here in the enemy jungle. KhaoticPurpose is here to try and help out. Look at the damage out of Shards of Ice. 2 down quickly, and Chaotic picks up both despite the hard work out of Wolves. Tier 2 tower next on the list for my guys. KhaoticPurpose can really do whatever he wants with his relics at this stage.
At this point, yeah, 5-on-2, still for another 20 seconds at least. Zachsy is going to be the first to respawn. It's only StormyRays and MedievalDoc, and this little baby doesn't have his ultimate to try to dive that backline. They just kind of have to watch as the mid-Phoenix does fall.
Little tiny squeak through that crack in the wall. Save StormyRays' life in that scenario. Wolves has just been phenomenal when it comes to these walls so far this game.
Trying to still make a statement here. My guys are not done yet with their siege. Tier 2 falling as well, extending that goal lead even further. They want it all here, Aggro. They don't want to walk away with just nothing.
They don't want to, exactly. This is the last game before the LAN. That'll be happening later on this or next month in April, and they don't want to walk away with a 2-0 set loss. They lost game 1, and you know they want to make a statement to SoaR. If they were to play at this LAN that, look kids, you got us game 1, but we can beat you way harder than you beat us.
So with SoaR, like, imagine that they lose this game, right? Despite them winning the last game and the game before that, they're able to still at least get the 1 game from my guys. So despite their last loss being to my guys, that's still a nice little victory under their belt that they can write home about and then look for ways to use their advantages off of the last game into LAN.
Of course. I mean, no other team in the North American SCL can say they beat my guys this season. So that's already a victory in and of itself, but definitely gonna have to go back and watch the tape and see exactly where they went wrong in this one. Not quite over yet, but with all 6 towers still standing for my guys, SoaR would really realistically need to deicide the opposition 2, possibly even 3 times.
The comeback potential is just not that valid, or very clear rather, for SoaR Gaming here. KhaoticPurpose is going to get taunted. It's only StormyRays to follow up, but a nice Spirit Ball from a distance, doing a lot of damage. But KhaoticPurpose, without those relics, needs to be more cautious. One more taunt will spill demise for him.
Chains on a MedievalDoc, trying to get away. Sentinel of Zeus to give him the CC immunity, but that locks you in place and allows Transonics to get the easy autos. Wall right behind Shaliber. KhaoticPurpose able to dunk down and pick up 15 clean kills for the jungler. StormyRays and the rest of SoaR have no choice but to watch as my guy secures its right side Phoenix. Kaeydan blinks forward but can't find a knockup. SoaR just have to try and defend their Titan.
With a Fire Giant for 5 more seconds, this Titan could go down potentially really quickly here. There's an ultimate from Coviiii to be able to burst it down. StormyRays falls, Kraken on, not on the mark, onto Zachsy. He's able to disengage for a little bit longer, but that Titan is just melting.
My guys close out the season near perfect, but SoaR the lone blemish on their record. Wouldn't know it by that game 2 though. very, very clean 25-minute victory for my guys.
KhaoticPurpose on this Ratatoskr in game number 2, just all over the map, almost having 100% kill participation there. And it was all off of the result of having that first blood early on. Onto StormyRays, really set up Wolves in a position to just constantly bully this little baby.
I mean, no jungle was available basically all game for Kaeydan in game 2. Game 1, though, different story. The Susano absolutely worked out for SoaR's jungler as he really led them to victory in this one.
So much so that in game 2, we saw the immediate ban response by my guys, not really wanting to deal with the sort of momentum that Kaeydan really established for himself and his teammates in game 1.
I mean, even taking it to Wolves at the 15-minute mark, where usually is pretty safe in that solo lane, certainly was in game number 2. Even when low HP, Kaeydan was making the plays. The focus on the Coviiii was excellent in game 1.
Very easy to just dive that backline, you know, use the jet stream just to be able to squeeze your way through the back. And then you have 2 options to disrupt the final judgment from Coviiii, being able to pull him, as well as that Typhoon knockup made his life just not very comfortable.
SoaR definitely looked very comfortable overall in game 1. That was almost crazy.
I would have lost it completely had he gotten away from that one.
That was almost crazy, but a crazy performance from KhaoticPurpose in game number 2. 15 kills for the jungler Tolly. Just disgusting. I mean, this was gross.
MVP performance here by KhaoticPurpose in game number 2, being able to just, you know, position himself behind StormyRays, even body blocking him, not allowing this Vamana to get under the safety of his tower. Also being able to dart around corners, really taking advantage of the map corners.
I mean, everyone on my guys had a really solid performance in game number 2. KhaoticPurpose, as most junglers seem to always do, ends up with all the last hits, but either way, Wolves was phenomenal, Coviiii was excellent, Brochacho had a little bit of a struggle in the early game, but some of those pulls and chains in the later stages were really key.
And like we mentioned before, this is something that Brochacho doesn't really care about. He'll always be that sacrificial lamb just to ensure that the rest of his teammates are doing very well. What Brochacho lost in his side of the role between support versus support, that's what Wolves got on the solo lane.
Well, there we go. That's going to do it for the first 2 sets here in North America. We got one more coming your way. It's the defending world champions Obey Alliance up against Team Elevate, who have struggled a little bit so far this split. Can they turn it around up against the defending champs? Find out after this short break.